Good morning, everyone, and happy Thursday. I'm still wondering why my opening credits seem to stutter and stop. Good morning, Brent. Good morning, Luna. Both of you guys are here this morning. That's great. Yeah, you notice that my opening credits are stuttering? I don't know what that's about. My closing credits don't seem to stutter as much, but my opening credits do. Not sure what that's all about. Okay, now, let's check. My music is not too loud, right? Everything's focused correctly, or whatever. Correct. You guys can hear me just fine. The music's subtle and in the background and stuff. So, if yes, then yay. So, it is in fact Geek Tank Day. And Brent, I will let you in on a little secret. It is the beginning of Season 6. So we've wrapped up Season 5 and we're starting Season 6. No, it's me, but the closing credits don't stutter as much as the opening credits do. And I'm not sure what the story is. I'm going to make a new opening credits. I've got to make opening credits for Season 6 Geek Tank anyway. So while I'm at it, I'm going to tear apart the opening credits for this show and square that away and see whether I can't make a new version of that to go with this. So because of that, we have a short show today. We're only going to go for 1 hour because I do have to tear apart every opening credits and closing credits that I've got here. And that's pretty much a day's worth of work. That's 8 hours. So I want to make sure I've got enough time to do that before we roll tonight. So this will be a short show, but that's okay. One thing I will do, though, is close my email. Because if I leave my email open, it'll sit here and go boom, 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 boom. You know what? That's not a bad idea. Is do that. Yeah, I'm sorry, but I need the extra hour. I need the extra hour to do this, so we're gonna get there. We'll get there. Don't worry. The music kind of skips when I talk, huh? That's interesting. Huh. Well, that's a new twist to the thing here. So yesterday, Brent and Donald both kind of said, "Wait, you do standees for characters?" And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, it's $40 and I'll do that for you right here online on screen." And it shouldn't be, because everything is mixed through my mixer right here, which is totally analog. So there shouldn't be any digital artifacts on the audio. I'm not sure what's going on. If I thought I could get Premiere to run with all of this other stuff, I might be able to. This is a newer computer. Hello, Allie. Welcome to the show. No, not you. My Alexa is going off again. So anyway, I don't think I could get Premiere to, well, I might be able to, but there's so many widgets in Premiere. I'd have to trim it down to get it to the point where it works on one screen. I usually use 2 screens right now on so Brent is am I British? No, Allie, I'm a US citizen from Denver, Colorado, almost the center of the United States. So that's, we're full of fires right now, apparently. So there's that. So anyway, well, hello from Britain, or hello to Britain. And so greetings from the US to the UK. So that's awesome. So, Allie, where are you in Britain? Are you in London proper? Are you up towards Scotland? Are you over in Ireland, North Ireland? Because I guess South Ireland wouldn't be Britain. Manchester. That's cool. I have a buddy who works. I don't remember where she works. I'm trying to think of whether she works she either works in Oxford or Cambridge. She's in that zone-ish area, and she likes to head over to Manchester. And I hear a lot about your football team. So apparently Manchester United is like a big deal, and it's fascinating to me. I'm not a sports fan at all. So, I mean, my mom was a major sports nut, and so she would keep me all up to date on all of these things, but she passed away. So I now have very little connection to sports. But yeah, Manchester United is like a big deal. So it's good to see all of you guys. Wow, we've got a big show today. Manchester City. So you have two rival teams in the same city. Oh, yeah, that never happens here. No, it happens here all the time. So that's totally a thing. Yeah, we've got that a lot here too. It happens. So, and of course, your football is completely different than our football because, as is typical with like Americans, we can't just follow the rules, and so we had to invent our own football, which has nothing at all to do with soccer, which is what we call football, and I don't get it. So, but that's still cool. So it's got to be. Hi, Donald. Welcome to the show. It's all right. We're doing a short show today because we've got to wrap up by 11 this morning. So it's all good, guys. I'm glad you guys were here for a little bit. I assume that Allie is also dealing with the fact that it's really late over there. I only have my clock's only programmed for Japanese time. It's 1:09 a.m. in Japan, for those of you who are wondering. So it's 5:09 p.m. So I guess it's not that late over there. 1:09 a.m. in Japan, 5:09 in the UK, and then it's 10:09 a.m. here in the US. It's a fascinating thing to talk to a global community. It's just one of those things. Allie, you may not know this. I used to teach in Japan, and I have a number of friends now and families that I'm very attached to over in Japan. So that's the overseas that I watch a lot more. And it's one of the reasons why I now have friends everywhere. I've got an old teacher buddy who taught with me over there who's Belgian, and she now lives in Ireland, Southern Ireland. So she's not in the UK proper. But she married an Irish guy, and they now live over in Ireland. So I talk to her from time to time. So I do often track where the UK is, but only whenever I know I have to call my buddy in the UK. Or, I've got a couple of friends over there, but it's rare. My sister used to be in Germany up until about a year ago when she moved back here. So I had to keep track of Frankfurt's times all the time, and it was like really weird. I had a whole bunch of these things over here on my clock where I was just tracking everybody's time, and it was like, So, yes, you are 5 hours before. 7 hours. 7 hours earlier than, or you're 7 hours later than, no, wait, I'm so confused. If it's 5 p.m., it's 5 p.m. Friday, or is it 5 p.m. Thursday for you? That's the question. because it's 10 a.m. Thursday here. Okay, so yeah, you're 7 hours ahead of us. It looks like, or 7 hours ahead of Denver, anyway. So that includes Brent and Donald and Luna, who are all Denverites, and you can't see them because they're on the Facebook side. So when I talk to those guys, they're talking to me via Facebook, and you're coming in via Twitch. So I can see both of you guys on my screen over here, and you're coming up on this, but oh, Luna is saying they're about 7 hours earlier, same day. She works with the UK a lot, so Luna is kind of figuring that all out over here. So okay, well, that's cool. Yeah, I really like this era of the world is getting so much more interesting now. That we're now communicating more real time with other people in other countries. When I was a kid, it was a long distance call and it was going to cost you $1 billion. It's just like ridiculous to contact anybody outside. It was a long distance call to call down to Pueblo, which wasn't that far from here, relatively speaking. So it was like you had to pay money. My dad lives in Texas, and my mom and dad divorced when I was 8, and but he called every week on Sunday, and we'd talk and what'd you do this week and stuff like that. And so when my dad would call, I mean, he talks to me now on Skype, and we just marvel over this. He's like, it used to cost me like $100 a month to call you guys and now it costs me nothing to just get onto Skype. And I'm like, yeah. And then I talk to my buddies in Japan, and we just sit there and chat and talk about politics and the weather, and and it doesn't cost us a thing. So, and Brent is saying he also works internationally. Yeah, I love this era. I've got friends from all over the world now. That's just cool. That's neat. Yes, Brent is reminding that it used to be a long distance call to call across Denver Metro. So from one side of Denver to the other side of Denver is a long distance call. Oh, yep. Well, no, that's work. I have a 10-year-old who's right now in the other room plugging away at school. So that's definitely work. And in the modern COVID era, he sits in his room and communicates to his school using the same technology, Zoom and those kind of things. That's fascinating. So Allie's saying that she doesn't have work. She's in high school. So I'm presuming that you are a she based solely off of your name. If I'm wrong, just holler, and I will happily change that. Okay. So, yeah, I will happily. Well, I'm glad, because I don't want to mispronoun you. I don't want to mispronoun anybody. So, okay. But it's awesome that you are joining me today. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Welcome to Denver, Colorado, for what it's worth. It is a bright, sunny day outside, which you can't see because all we really did was just blow out the camera. But it's a bright, sunny day. It's going to be, I think it's going to be like 32 today. It's going to be horrible. 36. It's going to be 36 today. It's 27 now, but it will be 36. I just stopped going outside at some point in time. But that's the reason why Colorado's all on fire. It's because we don't have any water in our air, and we're very, very dry here. Well, you are farther north, to be fair. To be fair, you are farther north. So, so 16 is better. I mean, it's 26 now. But 16. But, the UK, we all have this image of the UK being always cold and foggy. And actually, I had heard that most of the London fog was due to industrial pollutants. And yes, Brent, I'm sorry. That was Celsius, not Fahrenheit. I automatically switch to Celsius when I talk to people overseas, because we're literally one of 2 countries left that speaks Fahrenheit. And so, yes, it's going to be right up against 100 degrees Fahrenheit for those of us here. And I give up. There's like a line. The line in the sand is, for me, the line in the sand is 30 degrees Celsius. 30 degrees. I'm like, nope, I'm not going outside anymore. Oh man, I don't know. Tokyo was pushing 40 the other day. They were pushing 40 degrees, and they were saying that they were putting out heat warnings, and they were saying if you are elderly, if you are, and they're don't go outside, and it's like, wow, because my really close family is just north of Tokyo. I taught in Ibaraki Prefecture. So it was just north of Tokyo, about 40 miles, about 50 kilometers. It was probably 60 kilometers. 60 kilometers north of Tokyo. It was enough that it was just a 30-minute train ride into town. Right? Oh, see, and that's the thing. Colorado gets so nice in the autumn, and it gets really wonderful in spring. But our winters are pretty mild compared to, say, Minneapolis or even parts of Canada. I mean, we get one or 2 snowstorms a month during the winter, and they're almost always gone by the next day. And then our summers are getting so brutal here. But the good news is we don't have any moisture in the air, so we can use evaporative coolers to cool our house as opposed to having to rely on air conditioning, although a lot of houses here have air conditioning. But we can use the evaporative coolers, which use a whole lot less energy, and they're much nicer on the environment. So that's always a plus. So, lime in the coconut. What are you talking about, Brent? Oh, did I say something that... Because, see, now we're just going to end up singing songs, and that's where things go weird. Anyway. All right. So let's, real quickly, I want to talk a little bit about Ron's piece that I've been working on. So, we got Ron's piece here. First of all, I feel like, even though I did a vector on this, I did vector work on this, but I feel like it's still too noisy. So when I look at this, I'm feeling like, I feel like what I want to really do is add a new layer, and then we'll add a vector layer on top of this here. And I'm actually going to put a raster layer in here, and we're going to here's what we're going to do this. I'm going to take this, and I'm going to just retrace this piece, because I don't feel like this piece... Oh, Pikachu? Where's Pikachu? I see Pikachu. I don't know where Pikachu went. I do have a Pikachu over there. He's actually really cool. I've done the Pikachu things before. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and retrace it. What I've got here is I've got a large robot in the background, which is hard to distinguish from the Scorpion bot in the front. So we're going to try this on 2 different layers. That's what we're going to do. Okay, so I know I have a... Wow, it's huge here, guys. I know I've got this car that I'm going to have to deal with, so I'm going to go ahead and just put that in as 1 layer. Right? just going to go along here like this. I'm just going to trace in this car. I'm going to allow for a little bit more design here on this, because I feel like, learned my lesson last time. I feel like we've got, like, this car is sitting here, it got stepped on. By the big monster. My background is just on the screen? That's weird. Did that help? Now let's do that. Swap, swap. Let's see if that helps. I was wondering why Allie was talking about Pikachu. I don't get it. I'm not doing Pikachu. Thanks, Brent. Brent is saying that my image is not on the screen, just the background, which is an odd glitch. Now it's fixed. Gotcha. Okay. So let's back up here and talk a little bit about this picture. So this is a piece that I was working on for, that I'm working on for a client. And this piece is an illustration for a novel. So the novel has about 8 illustrations in it, and I need to kind of get these things done for the client. Oh, I'm about to be attacked by an attack kitten. Yeah, attack kitten. Don't attack the wires. No attacking wires. Come here. Come here. Hurry. Don't look at me like I'm crazy. Come here. Okay. So, this piece needs to be done. And I'm feeling like what we've got here on the original vector is there's too much noise. I can't distinguish the two pieces. Oh, thank you, Allie. I can't distinguish the two robots, right? We've got this scorpion robot in the front, and then we've got this standing robot in the background. And I can't seem to... There's so much chatter between the two that I'm not able to... I would love to do your cover art, Brent. If you ever need cover art, just give me a holler. I'm available. I've got commissions open. So one of the things that we really need to worry about here is that, oh, you know what I could do? It would be even better than this because it would take less time. I'm going to take this vector piece here, and I'm going to just duplicate this layer, right? And then I can take the bottom layer here, and we'll take the eraser tool. And we'll just erase all of this. Well, we need to do that in vector. Take the vector eraser tool and just do that, right? And then once this guy's out of the picture, I can then adjust just the scorpion one. So what we're doing here is I'm just using the vector tool, the vector eraser, to erase this back guy. And don't worry, he's not permanently gone. I'll show you what we've done here. All it's leaving us now is the scorpion bot, right? And that's on this layer. There we go. Now we can do this layer, and we'll do the other part, which is get rid of the scorpion bot. Right? The vector tools are so useful here. I'll get rid of the car too. There we go. So here's what we're doing. We're just getting rid of the Scorpion bot here because that way we can take the two together, and now we can either have the Scorpion or we can have the back. Oh, see you later, Allie. Have a good day. I hope you join me again. Where'd my cat go? But it was good to see you, and join us in Denver later. Where'd my cat go? I know you're trouble. There's cat trouble in here somewhere. I've got a new kitten, and the kitten is a pest because he starts biting on cables, and this setup has a ton of cables, so I keep an eye on him. Okay, so one of the things we can do is take this layer right here, and then I'll have to reverse these guys, right? And this could help us a lot right here, right? Now we can distinguish the two very easily just by simply adding a white layer between the two. So that helps a little on this piece, and it helps the Scorpion bot be seen. Although I'm noticing that the Scorpion bot also has leg pieces on here from the other bot, so we make sure that's cleaned up. And that'll help us a little. So we've done that, and we've gotten these two pieces sort of separated out a little so that we can kind of figure out what's going on. My screen is dirty. Okay. So, we're looking at the two different robots. I actually am pretty happy with the Scorpion bot. This bot is just fine. I feel like he's mean looking, he's evil looking. I like him. I like him a lot. What I really have a problem with is the Warbot behind him. And I actually kind of feel like the Warbot ought to be on treads or something, but I can't quite figure that out. So I am going to just tap through here. Now that I know how to do the fixed width thing, we can do this and then just correct all of these line widths that have gotten kind of out of control here. Right? These guys just got really out of control. Because I got happy about this. I was like, oh, look, I can do the width thing. That's great, but you really do need to be tactical about these things. So here we go. We're going to be tactical about it. This, and this, and that. And we'll do it again. This, and this, and that. And a little bit more, starting here. Right, and a little bit more, getting a little bit more to the center section. There we go, like that. And that'll give us this brush stroke effect. Go there, go there, go there. All right, just like that. And then we'll come up over here and we'll do the same thing. First of all these like lines that just exist. Just like pieces, particles. There you go. Yep, see? I'm getting attacked by a kitten. He doesn't know exactly what to do in the world, but, he does it. So all I'm doing here is just cleaning up lines. I see them crossing over each other here. And so I'm just, Nah. That line's going to be a problem. I can tell. Okay. So we'll take the ink pen adjust line width, scale it up. Right? Do the same thing here. We're just bringing it up a little, and I'm letting it get thicker as we hit the top part of this apex over here. Yep. And that's how I know I'm going to have to kill off a cat. What are you doing? I can't see him. I have no idea what trouble he's causing. So, I find having Twitch is fascinating because I get more of an international audience from Twitch. We've had a Korean person in here, and now someone from the UK. And being somebody who has traveled around the world a little bit, I'm kind of glad. I mean, that's kind of cool. It's nice to see people who, who just have other lives in other countries. Sure do like that. I'm also noticing this is not actually black up here. That's nice. I don't know what pen I was using for that. Right? All right. Go over here. And come down here. There we go. We'll scale it down. There we go. And I'm just cleaning up some of these lines that are getting kind of wild over here. The other thing we're going to do, I'm going to hit some of this and simplify it. Right? This will help a little bit too. Once we do that, we can come back in here and just bring this around like it should be. Right? And that makes it look a lot nicer and neater. This is a major mess. Right through here. What a mess. And get it down to one control point. Everything's a whole lot easier to deal with. There we go. Probably should connect these guys up. Connect all these guys up too. All right. This is probably more than I need to go with this, but it makes it a whole lot easier to control these lines. I thought I connected you to it. Wheel. That's all right. That's all right. I'm going to take control here. We're just going to simplify the same thing over here. This line's a little weird and wonky. That guy's wonky too. So we're just going to clean that up. There we go. We get a much nicer round curve around the outside of this drawing now. I am in love with the vector tools here. I mean, these things rock. The ability to just clean up these lines, simplify our vector lines like that, and then just go in here with only a couple of vector points. It's just astonishing to me. So, I mean, that looks a whole lot better. I spent an awful lot of time on a scorpion, but, well, you know, you never know what you're going to get on this show. So, all right. Now I'm looking at this and I'm thinking these guys right along here are still not quite large enough. Right. Like that. There we go. That looks a whole lot better, right? I'm going to go through here and I'm just going to tap that. I want this back part to be just a little bit more powerful. All right, there we go. There we go. That's perfect. So what we're doing here is we're just tapping in a little bit on all of the legs. I really want a thicker line from the delineation point between this mecha and the background, the mecha in the foreground, because I really need it to be visible, right? I really want people to see it. The other thing is this car. What is the deal with this car? Just like that. We'll straighten out all of its lines, and then whenever I do this, I can very much see where the lines have gone sort of wrong. And so I'm going to go back in here and just clean them up. We're now just down to the base lines on this. So I'm going ahead and just trim out all of these, which are overruns. And what's going on here? I'm just going over like that. There we go. Then when we take the vector controls in this, we've already simplified, so we've already done all the work there. So we're just going to do this. Simplify out this car. It doesn't need to be this hard. First of all, the car isn't a big deal. There. Now I'm kind of getting in here, and I can really see my control points. I can do a little more work on this now, right? And with it being this way, now I can actually kind of clean it up and make it work in here. And this is part of the car being smashed. So bumper kind of goes past here. I feel like it's up on this, like it's a curve coming to the actual front of the front wheel well here. So we're going ahead and do that. Also going to give this guy some more tire. He's missing his tire, I think. I feel like simplification gave it too many points. Or too few points, I guess I should say. I feel like we've simplified the line quite a bit. There we go. Just getting that tire kind of squared away. I'm going ahead and run this line out to the edge of the picture. The benefit of what we're doing here is that I'm just going to go on ahead and I'm just making that kind of look fancy under there, kind of making it work a little bit. Like there's some kind of undercarriage piece under here. The truth is, the tire is not actually touching the ground, I've noticed. So let's try to figure that out. All right. I'm really enjoying Clip Studio Paint's ability to do vector lines and our ability to control those vector lines. It really does make for a completely different piece we're dealing with here. And I feel like this guy over here, I don't know if I should try to simplify this or not. I feel like that's going to go wonky in a big hurry. We'll see. So we now have this. We're just going to spiky it all over the place now. Nope, wrong line. There we go. So this is just torn up metal right through here. Really didn't do any good in here. This is a bad place to be here. Fix the width of this so that it's all the same so I can get a good idea of what's going on here. Like, what is this gray stuff down here? What is that about? There we go. So, we're just correcting all of these lines and trying to get them all lined up in here so they all look good. And now we have to zoom all the way in because this is kind of complicated. Whatever's going on right here, I feel like is part of the mangled mess that's getting chewed up by the foot of the scorpion bot. So we'll just go ahead and just bend that metal out, make it look Something got real bent in here. I'll get the mirror. Just want it to be a little. There. All right. I'm just lining all this stuff up. Now that I've fixed, I think, the basic line on this, I still feel like that's not quite where I want it to be. We also want to do this, so we're going to go ahead and just run that line out. We'll run this line out too. There we go. I'll run this line out too. There. Now it looks, I can actually see what this looks like. So we can adjust the line width on it now and scale it up at this point in time. We want to be very careful not to get involved with the scorpion's legs, right? And this is going to be all heavy in here, I think. I feel like that's what that's going to be. Really want a thick line width through here to indicate the bottom of this car. And then really put weight in right through here, like that. Excellent. And that just gives life to the car here, which is ironic since the car is most definitely not alive anymore because it got squished. I'm just saying, car got squished. So, this is better. We've done work on this car over here. I'm liking that a whole lot better. The control on this is a whole lot better. So I'm going to go ahead and just bring this up one more step. Maybe a little bit more. Because it is on top of this guy. Alright. I feel like if this guy is sporadic, that's fine. Because it can be like bits and pieces sporadically done. So I can do that and just tap things like this. And it is being crushed by it's been cut in two, no less. I mean, it's almost like the Scorpion put down his leg and it just went right through the middle of the car. So, so you're going to have like that peeled up metal coming up where it is. But then he put his weight down on it, which crushed the car in. So he first cut it and then stepped on it. And so, thinking through kind of how that would look, he's torn up the metal and then ripped it down. I like this Scorpion Bot. Scorpion Bot and I are getting along just fine. I'm just saying. So, all right. Now let's talk about the bot in the back. This guy I'm not liking him as much. He's the one I'm not as happy about. And I think it might have something to do with the fact that he's not symmetrical at all. So, is it about time for us to play a little game? It is. Let's fix this. Okay. I'll put this on top here. And then we're going to do this. We're going to go over here. We're going to try something we haven't done before. We're going to go to rulers. And we're going to get a symmetrical ruler. And we're going to do this. I can already see I have issues. Right? We got a symmetrical ruler in now. Gosh, I hope I'm not doing the classic. Watch this. Run, 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 run. Watch what? Watch this. Okay, so let's see what do we get. There we go. Symmetrical rulers rock. If you know he's facing straight in, and he is, might as well use a symmetrical ruler for this. Alright. I think part of the reason this did not look good before was because it wasn't symmetrical. He really should have been symmetrical. Of course, symmetrical rulers are also awesome to watch because they're so much fun. I actually can't see what's happening because I chose to write on the left side, which means my hand is on top of what it's doing on the right side. But that's okay. It's still fascinating. I'm hoping it's fascinating for you guys. It's seeing a lot going on out there on the line, so I'm hoping you guys are still alive. Just doing work. Cool. Actually, honestly, I'm not as worried about you guys being alive or dead, because I figure you guys are probably all alive. What I'm really worried about is that for some inexplicable reason, my broadcast just dies. We are right now sort of competing with the 10-year-old in the other room as far as I do have intros to edit in 3 minutes. So we're going to do that so that we can do Geek Tank tonight. Oh man, the fires are getting to me again. That looks a whole lot better. And I feel like that's our problem, right? That is a whole lot better. I am still here, but we've got 3 minutes. So, much better to put that on there. And I should have done that before. I didn't. Uh-oh. I just heard something disconnect and reconnect. Is that a kitten problem? Something just disconnected and reconnected. Oh well. It's the perfect time for it to decide to do that. Because if I'm going to lose control of my monitor, we are 3 minutes from the end of the show, and we can just chat for a minute, and that's fine. So, it's a short day today, so I can get the intros in. I'm going to go on ahead, and I'm going to do a couple of things, I think, with my existing intro. I like the intro just fine. What I really want is like a 1 minute lead before it. So it runs 1 minute and just counts down and says, 30 seconds and, 10 seconds, and then hit go live now. And, and that's what you do. And I've got my Alexa already rigged to tell me you've got 10 minutes to show, you've got 5 minutes to show, you've got 1 minute to show. And when it does, the lights in here change so that it's not just an auditory cue, it's a visual cue as well. So when it's got 1 minute to show, I could just hit play on the video and get the video running. I also will try to shrink the video down and see if that doesn't make it easier to play. The end credits roll just fine, although now that I've said that, they won't roll fine today. But anyway, I'm not sure whether I will have Pepper on the show tomorrow or not. Maybe so. I can't believe we're at the end of another week. Time sure is flying. I'm getting a lot of these things done, but it sure is flying. So I will see you tomorrow at 10 o'clock Mountain Time. And hopefully that's 5 o'clock UK time, 1 o'clock in the morning Japan time. This is why I don't have any Japanese visiting with me. It's 12 o'clock in the morning Korean time, which is what we had when we had our Korean fellow or here at that one point in time. So, anyway. Handbrake is awesome at that. And you're right. I actually haven't put Handbrake on this machine yet. I had Handbrake on my old machine, but I don't have it on this machine, so we'll have to see. While we're at it, Brent, I'm going to ask you to look into something for me. I want to rip a lot of my DVDs because they're taking up space in the main living room, and I want to move the DVDs into the basement. But we're also lowering the number of DVD players. We are down to just the PS3 that can play DVDs. So like my Star Trek collection, I really would like my Star Trek collection to just be on my hard drive. But the problem is, some of my DVDs are region 2, and some of my DVDs are region 1. Because, of course, I bought some of them in Japan, and I bought some of them here. And all of them are legal copies. They're all absolutely legal. There's, but Handbrake has some issues with copy protection and things like that. Not a problem. I don't understand. I mean, not really talking about things illegal. I'm going to just be trying to copy down things that I own. I own the discs, and I can even prove it. I'm going to keep the discs. I'm just going to put them in the basement because they're taking up a lot of floor space on the first floor. So, Plex Media question. Do I do board game art? Says Luna. I will do any art. I have done artwork for RPGs, but I haven't tried board games yet. I've done card games. So I've done work for Earth Tau for their card games, and I've done work for my own card game, which someday we'll get back to over here. Plex Media Server. I will write that down. Thank you, sir. I'm just going to write this down. All right. And so, yes, Luna, I will do board game art if you need it. Just give me a holler. And as you have seen, it will get done right in front of your face. So there is that. Just tell me what you need done for the board game, and I will happily do the stuff for you. Hey, Allie, welcome back. Sadly, I'm about to close the show down, but I can chat with you for a second or two. I think Brent's okay with me chatting for a minute longer, too. And so Allie's back. It's 6 p.m. there and 2 a.m. in Tokyo, which is important. You can build it. That'd be interesting. Just go from region 2, region 1 to MP4. It doesn't even need to be that awesome. So I'm talking to Brent about a project that we were working on over here. And so if you've got, Brent, if you can do something that you're here forever. Brent's like, I'm here forever. That's actually really comforting, though. I mean, I like the fact that you're off here. I'm also glad to see Allie's here. That's cool. She's joining me in from the other side of the pond. I like calling it the pond. I think that makes me sound all like more advanced than I really am. So there's that. Coffee going here, and so yeah. So that's where we are. What I will do tomorrow we will likely have Pepper on the show. I haven't actually talked to him. Pepper's in the middle of an adoption process. He's trying to adopt a kid. And so there's all of these interviews and things like that while he tries to adopt a kid. And I keep thinking, gosh, I wish they had, I wish more of us parents were interviewed as often as Pepper is for his kid. Because they're doing a really thorough job of making sure that Pepper's appropriate for having a kid. And I think he is. I think he's going to be a great dad. Anyway, but it does mean that he has had a number of these interview things happen on Friday mornings at the exact same time as our show. So he's had to bump out of here or not be on the show a couple of times. That's kind of a bummer. So there's that. So anyway, that's the show for today. I hate to drop Allie. She just rejoined, but I hope you can join me tomorrow and you can chat with Pepper too. Let's see what he's got on here. He's got to square away his workflow is what he said. I had to get my emails fixed. I did. You can now email me at questions or guy@gsdavisart.com. I tried to say the Geek Tank thing, didn't I? You can now email me for commission work there, and it should, in theory, go to the right spot. And I have written about 1,500 words every night. So I've gotten in pretty deep on a backstory of the captain, which is really cool. real quickly, I took my story from a Star Trek story. It was originally a Star Trek fan comic, and I can't make any money off of Star Trek, so I have moved my fan comic over to its own world. Well, there are little bits and pieces of Star Trek lore that I have to now justify in my own universe so that I can make it work. Because other exciting things happened, but Luna, I will still look at you tomorrow and say, did you do it? You know, we're going to have that. Because we got to make sure you do that table, because that table's gorgeous. And you've got to finish that table, Luna. I'm just saying, it's so cool. But that's all right. If you had other exciting things, you might get a pass this time. So, it's all good. But I will be interested to see, did you at least get the table pulled out of the garage is the question. So, Allie, we do a check-in on Fridays with other artists and see where they are and help encourage each other to try to get moving we give each other goals for the next week just to keep us kind of on track because, you know, it's COVID and we're not going anywhere. And, you know, it's easy to just sort of fall into the pit of despair over here. And, you know, so Luna is building this really cool table, and she's been trying to kind of get it done and stuff like that. And so we've been kind of holding her feet to the fire a little bit on this one and seeing whether she gets the table done, because it's really cool. Right? I'm giving Luna the disapproving dad look. I'm good at that. It's either my disapproving dad look or my teacher look. I've got one of the two. But none of you guys are junior hires, and so I don't know if my disapproving teacher look would work on you guys, because it really worked well on my junior hires, but doesn't seem to work past junior high much. So who knows? Allie's like, it'd work on me. Well, okay, that's fair. That's fair. Well, I promise not to do that to you unless, you know, you need to get work done. At what time? I'd sit there and say, did you do your homework? You know, and things like that, because there's still a lot of teacher in me. So it's the way it goes. Okay, guys, I do need to get to, you're in your senior year. Ooh, that's brutal. That is brutal. You have A-levels and stuff like that to fight for now, don't you? I mean, like things like that. You've got some rough stuff ahead. So, it's funny how much of like global school I learned by being in a hodgepodge with a whole bunch of other teachers from all over the world. It's like, we don't do that here in America, but, and it's like those things. So that's all right. If you stick with us, Allie, we'll keep an eye on you and make sure you get through senior year, because that's a tough one. So hang out with us and we'll hold your feet to the fire, and I'll just write you down on here with things that you need to do for senior year. We'll just add it to the list. One could argue that schooling is kind of an art in its own way. So I'm willing to go with that. Yeah, it's all good. Brent often comes in here and says he wants to nap, and that's like his goal for the next week. Because Brent's a dad and has a kid, and sometimes sleep just doesn't quite ever happen in our world. So I can kind of understand, you know, sometimes the goals are not complex for the next week. They're just simple goals, and I'm okay with simple goals. So, okay, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to go on ahead and start reworking the opening and closing credits. Maybe this time I can get my opening credits. I'll thin them down so that they're not quite as brutal and stuff, because my ending credits run just fine. So I'm assuming it must be something in the size or weight or speed of the MP4. We'll see what happens. So join me then next week. Join me tomorrow. I'm already on Friday. Join me tomorrow at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, and That's 5 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time and 1 a.m. Tokyo time. And we will see you then. Until then, keep your eye on the stars, and I will be back later.